My name is Justin Bomke, and I'm the owner and operator of Bomke Farms. Today I'm going to show you what harvest looks like around our farm. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be a farmer, and today I finally have the chance, and I want to show you what it's all about. Behind me is a John Deere combine. The combine is what harvests the grain out in the field. Corn will enter the front on the head here, it'll go through the machine, and then the corn will end up at the top of the cab. From there, we dump it onto the grain cart, which further dumps it onto trucks, which sends it to our storage facility, which I can show you later. We start harvest usually in the first week of September, and it typically lasts us 6 weeks. We have 7 guys that work on the farm, and we usually work for about 14 hours a day. The combine will hold 400 bushels in the hopper, and it can typically do 100 to 120 acres a day. So you've seen the harvest process. The next step is it comes here to our grain facility behind me. When the grain arrives here, we weigh it in, we dump it in our pit, and then from there it goes to our dryer to be dried. Once we're ready to sell, we sell the grain to our local elevators who buy the grain for anything from ethanol to manufactured goods. What's interesting about this facility is it's a complete 24-hour facility. We have cameras set up that we can see what's going on even if we're not around. Beside me here is our turbo till. We use this to fracture the soil in the fall to prepare the ground for the spring planting season. So in the residue I've got here, there's nutrients that's left over from this year's crop that needs to be broken down and released back into the soil so it's available for next year's crop. And you can see by chopping this up with the chopping corn head and with the turbo till, it sizes the residue so microbes can eat it and break it down quicker so it's available for next year.
Well, welcome back. We've got Justin here now. Justin, thanks for joining us.
Glad
you
to be
mentioned
here.
a little bit about the technology there. Can you enlighten us a little bit more about the technology that's used here on the farm?
Yeah, so I think you guys saw in the video there, we have a grain system that runs 24 hours during the day. And we need to see what's going on no matter what time of day it is. So it's important that we can see. So we have a camera system set up, and we have an iPad app. So with the iPad, we can see what's going on no matter what time it is. So,
pretty
yeah.
slick. Hopefully that saves a few hours of sleep, perhaps?
It does. Yes, it does.
Yeah, no, that's limited on a farm often.
Yes, it does.
Well, we have so many great questions. Virginia, Philadelphia, Montana. Thank you for the pictures. Been seeing great stuff coming in on Twitter. So much excitement and questions about this event. So let's jump right back into some more of these questions here. Justin, you mentioned a little bit about tilling and specifically turbo tilling. I'm wondering, can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, so in the fall we do what they call vertical tillage. And what vertical tillage is, it's basically a tool with a series of discs, and it's kind of like a pizza cutter, right? So it'll roll across the field, and it makes the residue into really small pieces. And in doing so, it creates a lot of surface area so the microbes can start eating from all different sides of that. And that's important because this year's residue is next year's nutrients. So the sooner they eat that stuff, they can release the nutrients inside, and it's available for next year's crop.
Wow, you're a wealth of knowledge here, and in fact, that's some of the questions we're wondering. How did you get to be where you are? So what did you study to continue to learn about farming?
I went to ag science.
Okay.
Yep. I went to a 4-year university, so okay. I studied ag science. Yep.
Agriculture and science. Okay, great. I love that. So if you're interested, there's
there you go.
A pathway. I love that.
Great opportunities there. Yeah.
More interesting questions. How tired are you every day, and how early do you start your morning? I think a little bit of those farmer hours, rumors are going around there.
Yeah.
So is it early?
It can be pretty early.
Okay.
Depending on the time of the year, between 6:30 and 8. Depends how busy we are, but we work a lot of evening hours, like Dad said earlier. So it's a lot of late nights, but we do work some early mornings too, yeah.
Okay.
So.
Wow, okay. Well, we've got so many questions coming in, but before we started today, you mentioned that you had a challenge for the students there,
I
right?
did, yeah.
You do? Okay.
I do, yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and share that challenge with them?
Okay, students. So if a bushel of corn weighs 56 pounds and the combine can hold 400 bushels in the hopper, how many tons can the combine hold?
All right, we'll leave that up there for just another minute. Again, kind of absorb this, and what we want you to do after you find out the answer, submit that in that questions box down low, or of course you can tweet that as well. 1 bushel of corn is 56 pounds. The Bomke's combine holds 400 bushels, so how many tons of corn is in Bomke's corn hopper? So that's the combine hopper. So that's the question. The challenge is out there, right?
Yep,
we'll give you a few minutes to figure that out. And while we do, we want to talk a little bit more about the learnings, because this whole operation here, you're learning year after year and day by day. And so to do that, we're going to learn a little bit more from Ed, who's your agronomist.
Yep.
And we had the opportunity to learn from him last fall. So let's go ahead and look at that.